All right. In the last video, we were working on question 8, or just about to start on question 8 when the time ran out on my video. So here we're going to actually work on question 8, and then we'll get to 9 and 10. So if I'm looking at question 8, I notice that I have a solid line and a dotted line. Well, first thing I want to do is look at my y-intercepts for this question. Oops, sorry. It's not going to work to do it that way. So I'm going to delete this stuff. All right, so the y-intercept for my red line is -6. So if I look down here at my y-intercepts, I see I have a -6 here, and I have a -6 here. This has a y-intercept of +6, so I can eliminate that answer choice. Here's a y-intercept of +6, so I can eliminate that answer choice. Okay, next thing I'm going to look at is actually going to be my inequality sign, because I notice that 2/3 x and 2/3 x, the slope is the same, so I don't even need to bother with the slope. They've already essentially told me the slope is 2/3. So here I have y is greater than, and remember, greater than means that I'm shading above the line. If here I have the less than symbol, and if I have the less than symbol, then I'm shading below the line. So you can see here, based on this line, and based on this shading, I am shading above the line. So that means that this is the correct equation, and this is the only equation, or inequality, sorry. This is the only inequality that matches that red line with the shading. This one does not, because I would have to shade below. So that means that this is my answer. But just if you want to double check, we can check our blue line as well. And again, our blue line here, our y-intercept is 2. So our y-intercept here is equal to 2, which matches right here and right here. I have a solid line. And a solid line means that I'm going to have the equal sign. And now I'm shading below the line. If I'm shading below, then I need to have the less than symbol, which is right here. So less than or equal to is below the line. So this is the only answer choice that matches. So we want to look at our y-intercepts. And then look at our shading. And remember, if it's greater than, then I'm going above the line. If it's less than, I'm shading below the line. All right. Going on to question 9. Okay. Question 9 is very similar to question 8. Okay. We need to match the inequalities to the graph. So we're going to start with this blue line. My y-intercept is a +2, and my slope is -2. But that doesn't help me, because if you look, -2 and 2, -2 and 2, -2 and 2, -2 and 2. So there's no difference there with any of the inequalities. All the numbers are the same. So really what I'm looking at is that this is a solid line. And if I have a solid line, then I need to have the equal sign. Okay, so solid line with the equal sign. So you'll notice right here, this symbol, this inequality symbol, does not have the equal sign, so I can cross it out. This here, this inequality sign, does not have the equal sign, so I can cross that one out. So I've just eliminated 50% of my answer choices just by looking at the inequality symbol. Okay, now I need to look at the shading. Okay, remember, that if this is my line, if I'm shading above the line, I'm going to have a greater than symbol. And if I'm shading below the line, then I'm going to have a less than symbol. Well, I clearly shaded above the line. That's all on this side. So I have to have a greater than symbol, which the only one that has a greater than symbol, greater than or equal to really, sorry, is this equation right here. So this is my answer. Now again, just like I did before, I can double check to make sure that both the inequalities are correct. So now I'm going to look at this one. Okay, so in my second line, my b is equal to -1. My slope is equal to 1. And then I have to decide which side to shade on. Well, now I am shade below the line, and below the line is the less than symbol without the equal sign because it's dashed. And this one would be greater than. Well, does this less than symbol match here? Yep. So this here is my answer choice, my best answer choice. So here you're going to look at two things. You're going to look at solid versus dashed. Then you're going to look at your shading. And that will help you arrive at the correct answer. Okay, one more question. And that is question 10. It says Narcoossee Middle School is hosting a dance. The number of 6th and 7th graders that will attend must fall between 100 and 200. So 100, 200, 100, 200, 100, 200. And that's inclusive. And we're talking about A. So the 6th and 7th graders are represented by A. Well, let's read this out loud. This is saying that A is less than 100, but A is greater than 200. So we have two greater than symbols in that first one, and that does not work when we have a compound and inequality. Okay, here we have less than and less than, and so what this is saying is that A is greater than 100, but it is less than 200, and that falls between 100 and 200 inclusively. So that is one of our answers. Okay, then we're going to take a look at the number of 8th graders that can attend, and that must fall between 75 and 150 inclusive. So 75 and 150. Now, again, I'm dealing with, I want to have the less than symbols, okay? Because this equation right here, what this is saying is that 75, or B, sorry, is less than 75 but greater than 150. Is there a number that is less than 75 and greater than 150? Not possible. So that is not our correct answer. So that leaves us with this one, which 75, or B is greater than 75 but less than 150. This equation here was just there for as a distraction, but we are not adding A plus B. If you added A plus B, then you definitely wouldn't have one between 100 and 200. So we can cross that out. So just remember, you are looking for two less than symbols when you are writing a compound inequality with an and. They must be less than symbols, not greater than. All right, that's it. I hope everybody gets an A on the test tomorrow. Ask me questions before the test if you need any last minute clarification. That's it.